Look, I know a lot of people don't like Dynamax or Gigantamax, but it recently just got a bunch of updates, and you're kind of missing out if you're not taking advantage of the rewards you can get from these events. So today we're talking about Gigantamax Machamp Max Battle Day, why you need to play it, how to play it for free, and the best tips to follow to get the most out of it. Let's get into it. So this event is Sunday, May 25th from 2 to 5 p.m. your local time. We'll have the following bonuses of your max particle collection limit increased to 1600. All power spots will host a Gigantamax Machamp battle, which will refresh every 30 minutes. You'll also be able to collect 800 max particles per power spot you visit and 2 additional special trades during the event. There'll also be extended bonuses going down from 12 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the day, where you'll get 600 max particles from walking, and you'll have quarter adventuring distance. So only 0.5 kilometers need to be walked to collect your walking max particles. Let's talk about those updates I was talking about and why this event might be for you now. And that's because starting on May 19th, which is already passed, you will now be able to remote raid Gigantamax battles. Now this will cost both a remote raid pass and max particles to enter. Obviously max particles can be collected for free during the event, but the remote raid pass part might need to be paid for by your gym coins or whatever. Now when you enter a max battle remotely, the remote pass will act the same as raids, where it will be used instantly. However, the max particles won't be used until you complete the battle. However, if you fail that battle, you can attempt it again and again until that raid disappears. Also, another update is your max particle storage limit is now at 1500. And the big one, if you defeat a max battle in person, so maybe not for everybody, you will earn more XP and premier balls than before. We don't know how much XP this is, but this could be huge and will be important for a big reason on why you want to play this event in this video. Now the remote raid pass limit will be increased to 20 on Saturday, May 24th, 5 p.m. to May 25th, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So you can do 20 Gigantamax battles from your bed, pretty much. Finally, there will be a free timed research that you already have in game that will get you the rewards of a Dynamax Beldum with the CP of 558, Beldum Candy and XL Candy, and max particles for a total of 1400 max particles. Do not claim the rewards of this timed research until the event, and I'll explain why in a bit. Also, if you are a big dollar boy, you can buy the ticket for the event costing $5 USD, giving you the bonuses of 2 times XP from max battles, so 50,000 XP per max battle completed, depending on if it's in person or not. Max particle collection limit increased to 5,600, and a ticketed timed research that will get you a max mushroom and 2,500 XP. Do know if you buy this ticket in the web store for $5 USD, you will also get a free max particle pack. So if you plan on buying it, buy it through the web shop. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, Dax, why should I play this event? It's because the rewards for Gigantamax battles are insane. If you don't know, normally you get 25,000 XP and 25,000 Stardust per Gigantamax battle. And yes, these rewards can be increased with lucky eggs and star pieces. A lucky egg will lead you to 50,000 XP per Gigantamax battle you take on. But then you can go ahead and double this with that ticket I mentioned. If you buy that ticket, that's 100,000 XP per Gigantamax battle you complete. Finally, if you have even more money, you can spend 200 Pokecoins to double your rewards. So yes, 200,000 XP for one Gigantamax battle. This is not even including that increased XP you're going to get if you're doing these battles in person. On the Stardust front of things, 25,000 Stardust per Gigantamax battle. You can double this using the Pokecoins for 50,000 Stardust, and using a star piece, 75,000 Stardust per one Gigantamax battle. Yes, this will cost a little bit of money, but with a little bit of planning, maybe with some extra star pieces and lucky eggs you might have saved up, you can get huge rewards from these events. And if you're a low-level trainer, you're going to level up like mad. You can even share your items with friends if you want to do this strategy even easier. When you party up with your friends and you share a lucky egg, everyone's getting 15 minutes of lucky egg. But if you were to use it on yourself, you only get 30 minutes yourself. So if a whole group of 4 trainers shares 3 lucky eggs and 3 star pieces each, everybody gets 3 hours of lucky egg and star piece, which you can use during this event. But none of this is useful if we don't know how to take down Gigantamax Machamp. So let's talk about it. Well, Gigantamax Machamp is a pure fighting type Pokemon, making it weak to Fairy, Flying, and Psychic. Its 100% IV from max battles will be 1746, and for charge moves, it will have Dynamic Punch, Close Combat, Cross Chop, Submission, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Heavy Slam, and Payback. Now, if you don't know how Gigantamax works, it can have 2 different types of moves. First of all, its large attack, which will hit all the Pokemon and you cannot dodge, and its target attack, which will target one Pokemon at a time, and you will know it's targeting you because you'll get those 3 little spider senses above your Pokemon. The ideal moveset for Machamp to have is Heavy Slam and Rock Slide, as these moves will not really do that much, especially with some of the attackers we're going to be using. If the large attack is something like Payback or Stone Edge, consider leaving that battle, re-entering it, and that will re-roll the Gigantamax Machamp's moves. So what Dynamax or Gigantamax Pokemon should you use against Machamp? Well, remember, as always, the best strategy is to have 2 tank Pokemon and then an attacking Pokemon in the back. This will allow your tank Pokemon to take hits from the Gigantamax Machamp while you fill the max meter, but when you Dynamax or Gigantamax, switch into your attacker, use your 3 max moves, and switch back. Remember to always power up your attacker's max moves and your tank Pokemon's max spirit in case you need to heal. The best attackers are going to be Dynamax Metagross with the moveset of Zen Headbutt, Dynamax Moltres with the fast move of Wing Attack, Dynamax Unpheasant with the fast move of Air Slash, and Dynamax Charizard with the fast move of Air Slash or Wing Attack. On the side of defenders, things that you can use to build the max meter while taking hits and using as a healer, you can stick with Dynamax Blissey with Pound. And yes, Blissey is weak to fighting, but even a close combat versus a level 50 Blissey will only do about 27% of its health. But if Machamp does have a fighting type move, maybe consider using one of our other options. Those other options include Gigantamax or Dynamax Venusaur with Vine Whip, Gigantamax or Dynamax Gengar with Lick or Shadow Claw, and Dynamax Zapdos with Thundershock. The best defender will depend on the moveset your Dynamax Machamp has. If it's things like fighting movesets, things like Gengar and Venusaur will do well because they resist those. Again, set your party in advance in your battle menu with 2 tanks and 1 attacker. And remember, power up your attacker's max moves and power up these Pokemon to at least level 30 so you're doing your part. Now, if you are in the battle, you can dodge moves, and more information about dodging has been revealed. There's actually 4 different levels of dodging depending on how good your timing is, and that will reduce a different amount of damage. User Colonel Sanders posted a video showing how much damage is reduced depending on how you successfully dodge a targeted attack. To perfectly dodge an attack, you need to swipe left or right when the spider sense lines start flashing after the second flash. Dodging attacks is a good habit because it'll allow your tank Pokemon to survive longer and you can do more damage. Now remember, if your Pokemon do die, remember to go ahead and cheer. Cheering will fill the max meter quicker, allowing other people in the battle to go ahead and Dynamax or Gigantamax quicker and just do more damage. Also, remember, Gigantamax Machamp will become enraged after 6 minutes. So if you haven't defeated in 6 minutes, this thing will start to one-shot everything on your team. So make sure you take it down before the 6-minute mark. If you are struggling, Max Mushrooms might be an option for you, which is an item you can use before or while you're in a max battle lobby. This will last 30 minutes and will double all the damage you do in a max battle. Is it worth using these? Only if you really don't have that many people. If you can take them down without them, I would just go without them. You do get a 5-minute trial Max Mushroom effect if you've never used it in the battles. Now, obviously the rewards are amazing for Gigantamax Machamp, but is the Pokemon itself worth getting? And that's another pro while you want to play this event, because this thing is a beast. Gigantamax Machamp with its GMax move, Max Chi Strike, is the #1 fighting type max attacker in the foreseeable future of Pokemon Go. Yes, this is the best Pokemon for fighting type in the max battles. Also, if you watch my tips on Machamp Kumite, you know that Machamp itself is good in raid battles, it's good for battling gyms, it's good for taking down grunts, and it's overall an amazing Pokemon. Gigantamax Machamp in the future will be a top attacker versus things like Gigantamax Meowth, Melmetal, Copperjaw, Duraludon, Single Strike Urshifu, and even things like Snorlax and Lapras, which we've already had in Pokemon Go. So overall, if you're into Dynamax and you want this Pokemon on your roster and you don't care about the rewards, it's one worth getting. So how do we make this event better and easier for us? Well, there's a couple things you can do. First of all, download all assets in the advanced section of your settings. So your game is pulling the assets off your phone, not the internet, for a much smoother gameplay experience. You can partner this by activating native refresh rate, which will use your phone's native refresh rate, making for a smoother gameplay experience, especially when you're catching those Gigantamax Machamps. Now, if you're a free-to-play player, there is a top strategy you can follow to get extra Gigantamax Machamp battles for free. Let me explain. So this strategy starts by ending Friday with 700 max particles in your collection. This can be done by spending a couple power spots and collecting your walking max particles to get to 700. On Saturday, you're going to want to go ahead and collect another 700 max particles following the same strategy, and this will leave you with 1400 out of the 1500 max particles in your storage. Then after 12 a.m. on Sunday, you claim 300 max particles from walking the 2 kilometers, getting you up to 1700 out of 1500 max particles, and the walking distance for earning max particles bonus will be activated to 0.5 kilometers. Now, daily max particle collection resets at 5 a.m. every day, so claiming after midnight won't affect your daily limit for Sunday. Then Gigantamax Machamp Battle Day will start, and you can claim the 1400 max particles from that timed research I told you not to claim until the event. You will have 3100 max particles at the beginning of the event, and you can go ahead and do 3 Gigantamax Machamp battles. After the third battle, claim 600 max particles from walking 0.5 kilometers to do another max battle, and then claim 800 max particles from power spots to do another max battle. You can even throw on an extra max battle by attending a community ambassador meetup and completing the timed research, but we'll talk about this a little bit further in the video. That is 6 max battles for completely free by just claiming max particles in the correct order. And if you have the Go Pass, you can get max particles battles from that, so you could even squeeze in another max battle if you were lucky enough to get the go pass and be one of the testers. Now, of course, the power of Gigantamax Machamp is going to cost you candy, and if you didn't play Machamp Calm Day, here are the following candy tips you need to follow to take advantage. First of all, Pineapple Bears. Regular Pineapple Bears will multiplier catch candy by 2 and Silvers by 2.34 and give you an easier catch rate. Also, Mega Evolve a fighting type during this event. Specifically, Mega Heracross, Blaziken, Medicham, Lopunny, Lucario, or Gallade will all be Megas that will get you more candy, XP, and XL candy for catching Gigantamax Machamps. It's really highly recommended to Mega Evolve the highest level Mega you have. This will give you even higher bonuses. You can Mega Evolve this Mega Pokemon before the event if you don't want to do it during the event because they do last 8 hours. So anytime like after, 10 a.m., you're set. Also, when you're battling Gigantamax Machamps, leave a Pokemon in the power spots after you beat them. This will make it easier for the next people to take on Gigantamax Machamps, but it will also get you free candy for that Pokemon you left. So leaving things like Dynamax Zapdos or Dynamax Articuno or whatever rare Pokemon you might want more candies for can be a top strategy. Also, Gigantamax Pokemon are a little bit tough to catch, so using the Ice Burn Adventure Effect or Freeze Shock Adventure Effect is going to make this easier. Specifically, Freeze Shock will give you a 1.25 times catch multiplier and give the Nab Berry effect, paralyzing the Pokemon, but the better option is Ice Burn, which will give you a 1.5 times catch multiplier and help you land excellent throws by slowing down the catch circle. Activate Ice Burn, I think it's just the better option because the better catch multiplier, and Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemon don't really move when you try to catch them anyway. Remember to line up some special trades during the event as well. We do get 2 additional special trades during the event, which is a new bonus, I believe. So any traders you're lucky friends with, this might be a good opportunity to actually special trade some Gigantamax Machamps you catch during the day if you don't end up with a good IV one. Otherwise, if you're lucky friends, you can always just mirror trade shiny Pokemon. And remember, bottle caps might be coming soon, which means you can increase the IVs of Pokemon potentially soon. So any of your lucky trades that aren't the best IVs, hold on to them because you could be able to boost those IVs soon. Finally, if you're looking for people to take on Gigantamax Machamps with, obviously you can go ahead and remote raid in with your friends, but joining meetups through Campfire is probably the best way to find local communities. Going on Campfire, sorting by meetups, looking for the community ambassador hosted ones, attend those meetups. That's where there's going to be a lot of people, and if you check into those meetups, you get special rewards. Specifically, you'll get a timed research with the task win 2 max battles for 5,000 XP, catch a max Pokemon for 5 Great Balls, power up a Pokemon 10 times for 2,000 Stardust, and this does get you 800 free max particles. Yes, that is 1 extra free Gigantamax Machamp battle for completely free. Also, if you're in a party checked in at Community Ambassador Meetup, you get 25% less egg incubator distance. So if you just plan on hatching eggs, it's a great place to be. Guys, watch your 2 videos on screen if you enjoyed this one, and do not sleep on everything you can get out of this event. Let me know if you're going to be playing it or not, and follow for more tips. Peace.